Alright guys, good evening here. Please allow me to share you the synchronous lecture on satellites. No? This is a supplement topic actually. One to supplement. The next is just an introduction to other um, technology in communications. Alright, okay, let's go to our saan ba siya? Saan mo nakita yan? Nandito. Okay, so naka-record na tayo. Okay, punta na tayo dun sa PowerPoint na sinend ko sa inyo. Okay. Alright. Thank you guys ha. At yun, dahil trabaho eh. Okay. So this is the uploaded PowerPoint from a lecturer of electronics in India. Okay. It's Dr. Sarita. So the content of this PowerPoint are, of course, introductions to us so, to understand what are orbits, the root of this, the Kepler laws. He is the one who crafting and developing theories and the frequency allocated for satellites, advantage and disadvantage in its application. And finally, the conclusion. Okay. Wait lang. So it's part of the microwave actually, because it's a long distance and there is no obstruction and there's a line of sight mode of transmission. So it's under the microwave and the frequency is above 1 gigahertz. And there are about 750 satellites in this space. And this as of 2015 ata, 2013. Kasi may mga orbit na different types of orbit and those orbit are being maximized, especially today's generations in which everything are in a platform. So because of this, it has a wide area coverage. That's why we have WAN 1. Transmission delay is only 0.3, and because of the technology, it's no longer 0.3. No? It's smaller than that. So the cost is depend on the distance of the satellite. Pag Leo, mas mura. Pag Meo, mas mahal. Pag Geo, yun siyempre yung pinakamalayo. Pero basically, we are under the Leo. Even yung internet is under the services of Leo. Okay? So what exactly is a satellite? So it came from the root word satellite, meaning attendant, who is constantly hovering around and attending to a master's. Kung anong gusto mong gawin mo sa link mo, susunod lang yan. For our own purposes, however, a satellite is a symbol that moves around another. Sometimes it's usually much larger and it's a mathematically predictable, the path called orbit. It's the content, no, what's isometric, not really isometric, we'll explore what's inside of the satellite. No? We have, of course, the solar panel, para mandar yan, tapos meron yung may mga rocket fuel, may mga cameras, antenna of course, Bakit? Uh, okay. So what are those satellites? A satellite is an object that orbits another large object like planet. You have your sun, and then there's a lot of you have planets revolving around the sun. Same thing with no, same thing with satellite. The first satellite in 1957. Okay, so there's also a satellite which is also on the ground. Okay, iba pa yung nasa ano, iba pa yung naka-ground. May makikita natin. Now these are the different satellite. We have the Parasol, Calypso, Cloud Satellite, Aqua, and many more. It was the origin is in 1940, and then followed by the Sputnik of Russia in 1957. In 1962, satellites were deployed. We have the Echo and Courier, and in 1963, we have the first commercial GSO, Intelsat. Malaki na yung coverage na, which involved television and voice or the telephony at a distance. Bakit satellite? Because this is a good example of wireless systems. And we are familiar with this broadcasting, mobile, and cordless telephones. These systems rely on network of ground base. So, kailangan may ground base ka para konektado sila. No? So, we have the transmitter, receiver, so they can operate a terrestrial system. One major use of satellite familiar is everyone is this satellite television broadcasting. During my time, sumunod ng boxing, no, maghintay ka ng isang buwan para i-play sa Pilipinas. Kasi ipapadala yun sa tapes, no? Via airplane. No? Dadali yan sa Pilipinas at doon pa na delayed telecast. Sobrang delayed. Pero usually ganun yun. Para naman, per not like today, due to internet. Just pay per view, just like what Pacquiao, for $75 US dollars, you can view. Kaya, di pa pinapalabas dito. Delayed siya ng 12 rounds. I think 12 o'clock, alam ko na yung resulta. Mga 12, 1 o'clock na something like that. Para ba gumagana ang satellite? So you need to station on Earth for uplink and downlink. Okay. Meron ba akong diagram? Yan yun. No? So meron kang dalawang ground stations sa Earth, and then for the uplink and downlink. Just like the principle of you have a plus light, and then uh, you 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 you, uh, you concentrate the light beam on the wall, and the rays will be bouncing from the wall. And then if you have a eye, that is the receiver. You will receive at so many points up and so on. So the early satellites are Telstar, Skincom, and then let me introduce you the orbits now. So orbits is the circular orbits is yun ang alam natin. So, meron din tinatawag na elliptical orbits for quasi-stationary behavior, view, or Earth using. So there are 3 or 4 satellites where that elliptical and orbit changes can be used to extend the life of satellites. And we have the equatorial, inclined, and polar orbits. Pag ang satellite mo ay ang altitude is or ang kanyang ang kanyang speed is 23,500 miles per hour. No? Lalayo na yan, wayward na yan. Pag 17,000, yun ang i-maintain niya para umikot sa orbit. Pag sumababa sa 17,000 mph, ito ay babalik sa Earth. He is the one who started everything. So meron tatlong laws upon his observation in planetary motion. First, these 3 laws, planets moves in elliptical, the sun, and one of the foci. The line joining the sun and the planet sweep out equal areas in equal times, one of his laws. And the cube of the distance of the planet from the sun is proportional to the square of the period. Okay, we'll see later. Una niyang law. Now, orbits, the planets move in elliptical orbits with the sun as the foci. Okay. Ito yung second law, that the line joining the planet to the center of the sun sweep are equal areas in equal times. And the third, the Ti square over T2 square is equal, so they are directly proportional, no, to the A1 cube over A2. The square of the period, where T is the period and A is the area. Okay. Or okay. Ano ba mga elements ng satellite communication? Anyway, this you have still another, I don't know if you have still a subject on GSM, on microwave. Pero alam ko meron na lang pa kayo isang subject sa microwave. We will see. I think on the 4th year, 2nd term. The basic elements of communication satellite service are divided between space segment, ground segment. So space segment consists of the spacecraft launch mechanism, and the ground segment comprises the Earth station and network control center of the entire satellite system. Ayun guys. So with the Leo, the closer to the Earth, we have the Meo, we have the Geo, and the other orbits are the Monia and Hop. We'll see later. These are the altitude. How far is the Geo, the Meo, and the Leo? And ano yung mga services na meron ang Leo satellite, ang Meo satellite, and the Geo. So for a ground segment, you have the FSS, the fixed satellite service, the BSS, the broadcasting satellite service, the MSS, the mobile satellite services, and the direct broadcast satellite, no, yung mga TV systems, television. Ganyan, no? Pag FSS, Fixed Service Satellite, ito yung point-to-point communication. Pag broadcast services, ito yung satellite television radio. Pag DBS, direct broadcast services. Pag MSS is satellite phones. Sabihin, nandito ka sa Pilipinas, tumatawag sa ibang bansa. So the Leo, meron siyang altitude ranging from 500 to 15 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. The Leo don't stay in fixed position relative to the surface and are only visible at 15 to 20 minutes. So ganun ang takbo niya. Only 15 to 20 minutes. A network of Leo satellites is necessary for Leo satellites to be useful. Ayan. So meron tayong 66 satellites in an iridium system. So 750 kilometers altitude. Kaya meron tayong cellular telephony services. Advantage ng Leo compared to a Geo satellite gives us the better signal strength kasi mas malapit. Di katulad ng Leo, ayan, ng Geo, si pinaka sa dulo, which is 37,786 kilometer. In Leo satellites, smaller area coverage is less, and the waste of bandwidth is less. Disadvantage in Leo, costly. Imagine, ilan sila? 66. Ayan. Then Leo satellite have to compensate for Doppler. So pag naririnig yung Doppler, this is the antenna type, yung Doppler effect, kaya nga yung situation sa typhoon, no, Doppler antenna ginagamit doon. In fact, it's on radar type, no? Ang radar kasi may Doppler effect yan eh. No? Magbabato ka ng signal, tapos babalik pag tumama sa isang object. At doon mo malalang gaano kalayo. Okay. The Meo is a medium Earth orbit, somewhere 18,000 above the surface of the Earth. Meo satellites are similar to Leo. Kanilang mga function. Meron lang siyang Meo satellites are visible for 2 to 8 hours. Meo satellites have a larger coverage area. But malaya, siyempre, malaki ang iyong coverage. So the Meo satellites, so it is where your GPS constellation calls for 24 satellites to distributed equally among 6 circular orbital planets. And that is on the right side, that is the GLONASS, the Russian Meo satellite. So a Meo satellite advantage has a longer duration of visibility and wider footprint means fewer satellites are needed. Siyempre, habang lumalayo. Kaya nga pagdating sa GEO, tatlo lang sila. So disadvantage, a Meo satellite distance gives a longer time delay, a weaker signal kasi nga malayo. Okay. Ang GEO, ito yung tatlo. Yung may layo ng 35,863 km above the surface of the Earth. Ang advantage, no, kaya niyang coverage yung almost a fourth of the Earth, no, survey, one-fourth of the Earth. And GeoSatellite have a 24-hour view of particular area. This factor make it ideal for satellite broadcast and multi-point application. Ayan. Disadvantage, weak signal, of course. Kung weak yung Meo, mas weaker ang Geo. Pero yan, siyempre, nagbabatuhan yan. Kaya meron tayong topology sa Cisco, sa Datacom, ring topology, at may makikita nyo kung bakit nawawalan ka ng signal or bakit kaya ka nawawalan ng signal hindi dahil ang binayaran mo ay consider natin yung cost. Mas mura siyempre. Bumagyo lang yung isang connectivity na isang link dahil sa bagyo iikot ka, no? Hindi katulad ng pag ang binabayaran mong lease line ay mahal. So, kasi naka-mesh topology. Anyway, data ko na. Pero, mamaya, i-try to discuss that more. Yung Molniya orbit satellite by Russia. So, gumagamit siya ng elliptical orbit. Okay. Just like a Geo satellite. Ganyan yung Molniya orbit ng Russia. Ito naman yung high altitude platform, the HAPS. One of the newest idea in satellite communication. A blimp of plane around 20 km above the Earth's satellite. HAPS will very small coverage, but will have a strong signal. Cheaper to put in position, but would require a lot of them in a network. Now, these are the frequency bands. Frequency bands are being shared, no? And of course, for business purposes. Ayan. Pag ang point-to-point mo ay L-band, no? So, meron ka ng kahit yung Converge, yung 1632, 1,632 pesos. No? Ang binili lang nilang band dyan, kundi LS band. No? Kasi the more, pag ang binili nila, kasi kung bibili ka ng K-band, mahal yun. Pero anong gamit nun? Ibig sabihin, pag MSS ka lang, so, pag bumagyo, wala ka ng link. Putol ka agad, iikot ka pa sa Atlantic, sa ibang satellite para makakonect. Kaya minsan nakala mo, nagahang, hindi siya nagahang. No? Kasi may bagyo dito, no? Kuwari, sa isang grupo, naka tayo, circle. 10 tayo, nakahawak kamay, naka-circle tayo. So, para makarating sa dulo, dadaan muna sa siyam na tao bago makarating yung message mo. Ang tawag doon, ring topology. Okay? So, I think that is data. No? Pag bumibili ka ng data, 50 pesos per hour na data, no? Ring topology yung binibigay sa iyo, link. Kaya pag nasa kanan, ipapasa mo yung message mo sa pangatlo, sa kanan mo. So, kailangan mo lang 2 tao lang para makarating sa kanya. Paano kung bumagyo? So, iikot yun ng 6 o 8. Ano? Tama, 8. 8 points. Wala kang magagawa doon kasi yun ang binili mo. Okay? Kaya nga, pag bumili ka ng mas mahal na band, okay, pag bumagyo sa kanan, bumagyo sa kaliwa, pero ka pang link sa gitna. At pag bumagyo, papunta dun sa shortcut sa gitna para makarating sa pang-5. Meron ka pang link sa taas. No? Kaya nga, pag meron kang 2 provider, 2 internet, isa nagbabayad ng 50,000 monthly versus sa 1,632 ng Converge. Mag-Google ka, iba ang lumalabas. Okay? Di mo napapansin, kaya kayo dumadaan, pag nag-Google ka, puro India website. Puro India. No? Kaya dyan ang galing yung Delta variant. Kasi nga, nandiyan yung 5G. 5G na kasi sila. So, mabilis na. Anyway, ito namang mga C-band, X-band, Ku-band, K-band. No? Sa mga ano to ginagamit na sa mga military usually. No? Pero alam ko meron nang ino-open dyan sa commercial, yung C-band. Sa mga businesses. Kasi businesses, kaya nila magbayad. Kaya nila magbayad. Kasi may business din yan eh. Advantage of satellite over terrestrial. The coverage area is extreme compared to terrestrial. So nga lang, no? Ang advantage yan is precise ang link for a satellite to satellite and higher bandwidth. Siyempre, no, pag broadband ka, no, o higher bandwidth, okay, solo mo siya eh. Walang sumasakay sa'yo kasi nga mahal. Disadvantage, launching satellite is orb. Ito. Ano, kapag tumatagal, congested na rin. No? Ang problem siyempre, power. Usually the application. Okay. And for internet, high speed, for broadband, network gateways. So ito yung mga cloud na sinasabi natin. No? The cloud are consists of satellites. And of course, the base station, kung saan yung mga server. It's a cloud. This consists of one is the so everything, the world is too small today's situation. Conclusion, is the best utilization for communication because of the speed, advantages, and communication satellite bring the world to you anywhere, even in jungle. And I thank you. Thank you guys, and I hope you learned something on this last supplementary topic of satellites in our subject, principle of communication. Okay, again, thank you for listening, and I'm sorry for not meeting you because of the defense of the thesis of your senior student, seniores. No? Okay, keep safe, guys. Always remember, dito naman ako praying for you. Thank you for praying for me. Medyo Makati pa rin, meron pa rin allergy, pero okay ako. Thank you, guys. God bless you. All right. Okay.